No one is coming to save us. No one. Of course, many, many, many people from various walks of life would not like to hear that statement. It's a natural tendency that we have when we look around us and see the chaos. We look around us and notice a lack of harmony, a lack of kindness, a lack of consideration and decency, integrity, and on a massive scale in the world, so much self-centeredness. It is natural for us, for some people at least, to construct an ideology, a philosophy that there's something that's going to show up from around the corner, next corner of life. Someone or something is going to come and save us. This is a very old and culturally pervasive, across cultures. In various time periods we have seen this. We have records of it. So-called many sacred texts in different cultures, different religions have such personas or beings. Someone who will come. Neo, for example, of the Matrix is going to show up and completely take the Matrix apart. Luke Skywalker is going to come and balance the Force. These are all mythological imagery. Powerful. They're very inspirational, of course. I'm not going to undermine their importance, not at all. However, to my understanding, they never are pointing at someone outside of us, away from us, out there, in the next zip code of our galaxy. Next month, next year, next millennium. I remember when it was months before it turned the year 2000, suddenly there was this panic. Some people were jubilant. They were so excited that something huge was going to happen. And, the Y2K, people took it very seriously. Many, many people. People were afraid. They were sitting at the edge of their seats, expecting something to happen. They didn't know what, but they were expecting something to happen. Where? Outside of themselves, caused by the outside influences. Salvation to come from the outside. Emancipation, freedom to be given from the outside. If we go to the next planet, if we do this technological endeavor, we push the envelope and go out there, reach out to that next moment out there, all will be well. That is blindness. We must look behind us. What came before? We have to look at our history, our own individual history. What are the patterns? What are the tendencies that I am following in my life? So you can't just introduce a new thing suddenly out of the blue and say, this is going to be my salvation. This new thing, this new technological advancement, this new discovery, this new invention, this new project. You cannot extend your time on this planet, although many are trying, but we cannot. There's this thing called impermanence. Nothing stays the same. And there's this thing called suffering, dissatisfaction, unsatisfactoriness, which causes tremendous pain for the person who was pursuing something, and then, lo and behold, that thing pursued did not deliver on all its promises. The Savior, when you really get up close and look, and you're going to see, blackheads, you're going to see pores in their skin, you're going to see flaws. People have been doing this again and again and again across cultures for thousands of years. This is at the crux of the matter. This is avidya. In Buddhism we call that avidya, which is stupidity. To blindly hope for something else, the other, to come and to save me. The other to come and change and improve the world, my world and everyone else's. To destroy all that is evil and bad, and then all good will prevail. One day. It's always one day and not today. It's very interesting. How come? Why not today? Because no one other than you has the power on today. Your day. Your moment. No one. Not your God, not your saviors, whoever they might be. It might be science, so-called science, technology, and things like that. It's always out there, away from you, not here, not in your grasp, not here, not under your toes. So who has control over the now, this moment? You, the person, us. I keep talking about the importance of virtue for a reason. Because to have virtue means you're making the decisions. And you don't have to worry about those decisions being wrong, having wrong consequences. Actions have consequences, and this culture, for the last 2 centuries, the whole entire world, we have neglected to consider the impact of our actions on us. First of all, the moral backbone is missing. It's not just a backbone, it's also a North Star. It's a compass. It's a compass for the person to walk towards happiness, in happiness. That is a sense of freedom that no one can give you, nor can they take it away from you. It's power, it's true power. But you won't find this advertised, talked about, discussed, or even insinuated. It's always the other person, the Savior, the Messiah, somebody out there. Neo is going to come and save us, for example. And that has become more and more pervasive, more and more prevalent in the various propaganda means of today's society. You look at news articles, you look at movies. From what I hear, there are no new movies out. Movies of quality that bring up the human spirit, that gives persons, the individual, a sense of integrity, that you do have the power to make a choice of at least your actions. And what does that lead to? The joy, which is a consequence of the fact that you underwent a lot of, ordeals. You didn't cave. Your knees did not buckle. You stood your ground against all odds, and you maintained integrity, you maintained compassion, you maintained kindness, consideration of the other person. You did not place selfishness as number one. Virtue and selfishness don't go hand in hand. Virtue requires sacrifice. Virtue truly requires purity of mind, purity of heart, purity in speech. And if you live like that, you are a true, genuine hero. And you don't have to go somewhere else to fight somebody out there to become a hero. You don't have to fight anything outside of you to become a hero. Those are stupid definitions for true heroism. The real heroic effort only lies within you. The biggest enemies are inside. The ignorance, the stupidity that we have to work against to understand what's going on in one's own mind. And by overcoming those inner challenges, the world becomes a piece of cake. You're not fazed by what's happening around you. Now the problem is, we think that me being just one person, how is that going to help the planet, help the world, help my neighborhood? It will, don't worry about that, because the more you have individuals like yourself who hold on to what is truly virtuous, who stand up for what is true, despite the changing flavors of society, what is trendy, what is a fad, what is mostly being talked about in media, instead of all that nonsense, you maintain your course following a very basic principle. Do what you like to be done to you. 2, don't do what you don't like to be done to you. The bad things that you never want to experience yourself, don't do them onto others. Don't give others that pain that you don't want to get yourself. And 3, purify your mind. Very simple. You don't have to follow any specific religion. You can continue your own religious practices. No religious practice will ever say anything against these 3. It's impossible. And if it is saying something against these 3, because they're very universal, they're all encompassing, they're beautiful. If anyone has anything to say against those, then you don't need to be around such people. They go against true virtue. So no one's going to come and save you except you. And you have so much power. You always have power so long as you have air in your lungs. No matter what happens around you, in the world, all the freedoms being taken away from you, people or entities controlling this and that, all these, you still have control over your thoughts. You'll have to fight to maintain control, yes, but do what you like to be done to you. Don't do what you don't like to be done to you or to your loved ones. And just purify, balance, create tranquility in the mind. And that is the best way to become your own hero. A hero with 1,000 faces. A real mythological, but very present and alive, with a pulse type of a hero. Whose face you will see every time you look in the mirror. Not bad, eh?